Hello friends, welcome back to the James Lawrence Allcott channel. We have to discuss how Saudi Arabia beat Argentina in one of the greatest shocks in World Cup history. But before I get into it, just to say, I am here in Qatar. I'm going to several games. I'm going to be doing loads of YouTube shorts, so keep an eye out for them. I'm going to dive into that world with some mini vlogs and I'll try and give you some sort of colour from Qatar and just seeing stuff that you probably won't be seeing or hearing about whilst I'm out here. And I'm going to look to do as many live streams and bits and pieces as possible. So make sure you've hit the subscribe button and most importantly, hit the notification bell as well so you don't miss a live. Timings are tricky here, so I could go live at any minute and you need to be ready. Right, let's dive into this ridiculous game and how it might change the World Cup forever. So Saudi Arabia beating Argentina could make an impact across the whole tournament, and I'm going to explain that throughout this video. This is exactly what the World Cup needed, and if we're talking about the fallout, then this match has a lot to unpack. It was all about mentality. Everything that Saudi Arabia did well was down to that mentality. It really was the starting point. From that very start, they had that mindset of proving people wrong. No one believed in them at all, and they took the game to Argentina. Their mentality of causing an upset proved to be more effective than Argentina's mentality, which was probably a little bit complacent. Another crucial thing to say is that there are so many Saudi Arabia fans here. I saw the same in terms of the Arab countries supporting their team in this tournament. It is making a difference. I was at Tunisia, Denmark yesterday. It made a massive impact. And the same from the people that I was chatting to who were at the game. They said that the noise was deafening and that affected the Argentinians. The game plan, let's start there because we'll come back to the mentality and what this means going forward in the tournament. But for Saudi Arabia the game plan was successful because they believed in what they were doing. I know that sounds really easy to say, but we see the best teams in the world playing with a high line, defending high up the pitch and pushing the opposition as far away from their goal as possible. As risky as this was for Saudi Arabia to do against a team that's got Messi and Di Maria and Martinez, they were able to execute their high line so well. In the first half, of course, 3 goals were disallowed for Argentina as they were caught offside. But that was credit to Saudi Arabia more than anything else. That's the whole point of VAR, right? And this fantastic graphic from at JKDS on Twitter shows defender actions when they were losing or drawing as well as when they were leading. They were able to hurt Argentina by being aggressive further away from their goal. It meant that they couldn't get into the attacking third with ease. We know how pressing works, but a lot of teams don't do it. They play with a low block, don't give it a go. But Saudi Arabia went and gave it a go. And a key player in defence was their right back, Abdul Hamid, who you can see highlighted in green in this graphic. You can see he's defending the highest up the pitch, but also on the ball, he was pushing into the attacking third, meaning he covered a hell of a lot of ground in this game. Their game plan was the exact definition of risk and reward, and this is what other teams need to take some inspiration from, in my opinion. They could have easily sat back and made the space compact, but possibly what Hervé Renard realised is that they don't really have the right players in the team to be able to counter-attack successfully from deeper positions. Having a low block that's difficult to break down is all good, right? But it creates a difficult scenario in possession when you win the ball. You're very deep, you're scared to lose the ball there, and the opposition are right on top of you. There's again, mentality of playing into the opposition's hand. The best example of this was Wales in the first half against US. This is their touch map in the first 45 minutes, which shows that they were really struggling to get the ball into the opposition's half. That was down to the attackers, but also down to that mentality of pressing. And even though they had players with pace who were able to counterattack, there wasn't any way for them to get out of their own half to create those chances because teams stopped the passing lanes. They're well drilled, these guys. But the second half, Wales, it was a different story. They simply changed their mentality as well as getting Kiefer Moore on and higher up the pitch. And by being aggressive, it meant that they were able to win the ball in better areas and have your better players higher up the pitch, and the team has to be concerned about you. On Argentina's side, you can say that they were unlucky with the amount of offside goals, but at the same time, it was down to the forwards to get onside. Here are some more touch maps comparing Argentina's first half against Saudi Arabia to France's first half against Australia. There was a high amount of possession for both teams, but the ball was kept in different areas. A lot of this is down to the way that the opposition defend, but the Argentine players, especially in midfield, could have done a lot more to help the team attack. As you guys know by now, every single morning at 9:30, I'm on the Sky Sports News and Sky Sports Football YouTube channels doing a live stream for 30 minutes. We've got different guests every single day, so make sure you come and check it out. On that first show, we had Thogden on it, and he said that the player of the tournament was going to be Enzo Fernandez. Well, he didn't start, so that's not a good start, but he did make a big difference. The difference was made when he came onto the pitch and he replaced Paredes. He's a more positive player who's able to play 5 passes into the final third in comparison to Paredes, who played just 1. And you have to take into account that when he came on, Saudi Arabia did drop that little bit deeper, but without a doubt, Fernandes did make a difference and is someone who I think you need to find space for. He brings that positivity and a forward-thinking mindset, which Argentina desperately needed. Plus, they can afford to have a player like him on the pitch as their fullbacks, Molina and Tagliafico, aren't being asked to push really high up in this 4-4-2 setup. If the fullbacks are more cautious in their positioning, then they can have a midfield that wants to play forward and support the attack. What this match means, going back to what was mentioned at the start of the video, is that any team can beat any other team. And in particular, those smaller, lesser sides can be that little bit more positive. It was a significant victory that should give inspiration to other nations and prove they shouldn't back down to a stronger team. If you give the opposition too much respect, then they'll dominate the ball and breeze to a win. But Saudi Arabia at least gave themselves a fighting chance. Yes, they only had 3 shots. But it's not about the amount of moments, it's about taking those moments. Look at the Iran v England game. There was just no positivity at all from them. Understandably, there's a lot going on with that nation. But maybe being that a bit more offensive and aggressive would allow you to play the game in the opposition's half. Again, we understand what gegenpressing is, but to be brave enough to do it. And the same goes for Qatar. In their match against Ecuador, just didn't really offer too much. And if you can galvanize the crowd, like I was talking about, then it can make a big change. Group D, great example of that. Tunisia, just the fans were on the opposition. It inspires your players. And if they're inspired and then are allowed to do something with it, take on a player, drive, play that ball into the channel, then all of a sudden things can change, For Group C, this was a big result. Argentina are currently bottom, of course, of the group as Poland and Mexico gained a point each. For Messi and Argentina, their next match is against Mexico. And it is absolutely massive. Mexico were on the front foot against Poland with Hirving Lozano proving to be a real threat on the right. And he's made the most successful dribbles so far at the World Cup with 4. So as this video mostly has been about mentality, let's finish off by talking about Argentina and their mentality. They have to keep on the front foot. They have to keep possession higher up the pitch in their midfield so they can offer more to a team. And they need to get Enzo Fernandez, I think, in that starting lineup. It will all be about Messi, though it always is. And Argentina need to come together like they did in that Copa America final and make sure they get a result on good state and get a result against Mexico. Keep that togetherness that's got them where they were 24 hours ago, and they will still be just fine. And that draw between Mexico and Poland does help, but it's going to be compulsive viewing for the next couple of games. Let me know how you feel about Argentina. Is all lost or is it okay? Will they sort themselves out? And is this a shock that can be a blueprint for other teams moving forward? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.